The year 134 AC dawned bright in King's Landing, with the first light of day casting a hopeful glow over the city. A deceitful peace settled over the city, a calm that belied the turmoil just beneath the surface. The Red Keep, scarred but standing, seemed to bask in the warmth of the false spring, its walls whispering tales of past battles. King Aegon III, the Dragonbane, remained cloaked in his somber demeanor, a young monarch burdened by the weight of his title, yet a fragile hope flickered among the people, a small light in the darkness of their recent past. The realm, ravaged by the dance of the dragons, yearned for stability, a longing that was almost palpable in the air. The wounds of war were deep, scars crisscrossed the land, a constant reminder of the battles fought and lives lost. But for a brief moment the sun seemed to shine on Westeros, casting a hopeful light on the war-torn land. The worst, people prayed, was over. They sought solace in their faith, hoping for a brighter future. The small council, a mix of seasoned veterans and new faces, convened within the Red Keep, their discussions filled with cautious optimism. Lord Unwin Peake, the Hand, exuded an air of quiet competence, his presence a steadying force in uncertain times. He was a steady hand on the tiller, guiding the ship of state through troubled waters, his decisions calculated and precise. The king, young and haunted, remained a distant figure, his eyes reflecting the ghosts of his past. His regency was over, but the scars of his childhood remained, etched deeply into his soul. He relied heavily on his council, preferring whispers of policy to the roar of the battlefield, seeking wisdom in their counsel. Life, for a fleeting moment, seemed almost normal, a semblance of peace in a city that had known too much chaos. The shadow of the dragons, however, loomed large, a constant reminder of what had been lost. Their absence, once a blessing, now felt like a gaping wound, an emptiness that could not be filled. The memory of fire and blood lingered, a bitter taste in the mouths of the survivors, a haunting echo of the past. The dragons had been both salvation and curse, their legacy a complex tapestry of power and destruction. Their extinction had brought peace, but at a terrible cost, a peace that felt fragile and uncertain. The realm was fractured, the old order shaken, and the future uncertain. Into this uneasy calm, fate, as it always does, would toss its dice, setting the stage for the next chapter in the realm's history. The year 134 AC would prove to be anything but peaceful, a prelude to the storms yet to come. News arrived like a viper's strike. Lord Manfred Mouton, Master of Ships and Lord of Maidenpool, was dead. He perished not on the waves, but on land, thrown from his horse in a tragic accident. The council chamber buzzed with the news. Manfred was young, vigorous, a capable man in a time that desperately needed them. His death, a cruel twist of fate, left a void in the council and in the realm. All eyes turned to the Vale of Arryn. Sir Corwin Corbray, Lady Jane Arryn's champion and a renowned knight, was Lord Manfred's cousin. The Falcon of the Vale, they called him, known for his swiftness and deadly grace. He had served as Lord Protector of the Vale during Lady Jane's minority, proving himself a capable leader. Now, with Lord Manfred's passing, the position of Master of Ships lay open. The council, at Lord Unwin's subtle urging, offered the position to Sir Corwin. The Falcon hesitated. He was needed in the Vale, sworn to protect his liege lady, but duty called to him from King's Landing. The realm needed every capable hand, and Corwin was not a man to shirk his responsibilities. With a heavy heart, he accepted the king's summons. He would leave the Vale in the hands of his fellow lords declarant, trusting in their oaths to protect Lady Jane. Little did he know he would soon be riding back to the Eyrie under far grimmer circumstances. While King's Landing grappled with political maneuvering, the North faced a more primal foe. Winter had descended upon the land with a vengeance. It was a harsh, unforgiving season, even by the North's brutal standards. Snow fell relentlessly, burying homesteads and freezing rivers solid. The White Knife and the Last River slowed to a crawl, their icy breath painting the land white. The Wolf's Wood, normally a place of dark beauty, became a frozen wasteland. Lord Cregan Stark, the old wolf of the North, watched from the parapets of Winterfell. He had seen many winters come and go, but this one felt different. There was a sharp edge to the cold, a sense of impending doom. The winds seemed to whisper of hardship and hunger. He ordered his bannermen to prepare for the worst. Food stores were checked and double-checked, firewood was gathered and stacked high. The people of the north, inured to hardship, battened down the hatches and prepared for a long, cruel season. The winter was especially hard on the small folk. Crops failed, livestock perished, hunger gnawed at the bellies of children. Tales spread of strange creatures sighted in the woods, creatures of ice and shadow. The old gods seemed distant, their presence muffled by the relentless snow. The north, a land already accustomed to hardship, was pushed to the brink. It was a test of endurance, a crucible from which only the strong would emerge. Section 4, Kraken's Legacy, the Iron Islands' grasp for power. Across the Sunset Sea, on the wind-swept shores of the Iron Islands, another kind of storm brewed. The Red Kraken, Dalton Greyjoy, was dead. He had perished at sea, claimed by the waves he had ruled for so long. His passing left a void in the Iron Islands, a power vacuum that his many sons and grandsons were all too eager to fill. Dalton, despite his flaws, had been a strong leader. He had united the Iron Islands under his banner. He had led them to victory, albeit a Pyrrhic one, in the Stepstones. But his death unleashed the simmering rivalries within House Greyjoy. A dozen claimants, each more ruthless than the last, vied for the Seastone chair. They were a pack of wolves, hungry for power and eager to tear each other apart. The Ironborn, a harsh and unforgiving people, respected strength above all else. They followed those who could lead them to plunder and glory. With Dalton gone, the islands descended into chaos. Longships clashed in bloody skirmishes. Raids, once carefully orchestrated affairs, became exercises in wanton destruction. The Ironborn, unbound by any law but their own, reveled in the chaos. They were a people born of salt and iron, and they would carve their own destiny, even if it meant drowning the world in blood. Section 5. Iron Price, Golden Fury, The Lion Strikes Back. The chaos in the Iron Islands did not go unnoticed by the rulers of Westeros. Sir Leo Costaigne, Master of Laws, urged a swift and decisive response to the growing threat. He argued passionately that the Ironborn, if left unchecked, would soon be raiding the shores of Westeros once more, bringing havoc and destruction. He proposed a preemptive strike, a show of force that would remind the Ironborn who truly ruled the waves and maintained the fragile peace. The Hand, ever cautious and mindful of the realm's recent turmoil, advised restraint. He argued that the realm was still recovering from the Dance of the Dragons, a devastating civil war. He feared that another war, even a small one, would shatter the fragile peace and plunge the kingdom into chaos once more. But other voices, fueled by old grudges and a thirst for vengeance, prevailed in the heated debate. Lord Jason Lannister, whose father had perished at the Red Kraken's hand, demanded retribution and justice for his fallen kin. He pledged his house's considerable resources to the cause, vowing to bring the Ironborn to their knees. King Aegon, swayed by the Lannisters' fervor and eager to prove himself as a strong ruler, gave his consent for the campaign. Sir Leo, placed in command of the royal fleet, set sail for the Iron Islands with high hopes and a well-prepared fleet. He was a skilled commander, but he underestimated his enemy's resolve and cunning. The Ironborn, fighting on their home turf, proved to be a tenacious and formidable foe. They knew every shoal and every current, using their intimate knowledge of the waters to their advantage. They fought with the fury of cornered animals, their desperation fueling their ferocity. The Lannister fleet, caught off guard by the Ironborn's tactics, was decimated in the ensuing battle. Sir Leo, defeated and humiliated, was forced to retreat back to Lannisport with his tail between his legs, his pride shattered. The Ironborn, emboldened by their victory, grew even bolder in their raids, striking fear into the hearts of coastal towns. The Iron Islands once again were a thorn in the side of the Seven Kingdoms, their defiance a constant reminder of the realm's vulnerability. Section 6. Death in the Eyrie, the Falcon's Nest in turmoil. As winter tightened its grip on the north and the Iron Islands descended into chaos, tragedy struck the Vale of Arryn, a region known for its majestic mountains and noble houses. Lady Jane Arryn, the Maiden of the Mountain, was dead, leaving a void that would be felt throughout the realm. She perished not in battle or from some foul disease, but in childbirth, a fate that claimed many noble women of her time. The child, a frail boy, followed his mother to the grave within hours, never having the chance to draw his first breath. The Eyrie, usually a place of soaring beauty and grandeur, was cloaked in mourning, its halls echoing with sorrow. The news reached King's Landing like a bolt from the blue, sending shockwaves through the court. Sir Corwin Corbray, still adjusting to his new role as Master of Ships, was devastated by the loss. He had sworn to protect Lady Jane, and now she was gone, taken by the cruel hand of fate, leaving him to grapple with his failure. He immediately requested leave to return to the Vale, his heart heavy with grief and foreboding, knowing the turmoil that awaited him. Jane's death sparked a crisis of succession in the Vale, a region already fraught with tension. She had died without naming an heir, leaving her title open for the taking, a prize that many coveted. A dozen claimants, each with a more or less tenuous claim to the Eyrie, emerged from the woodwork, eager to seize power. The Lords Declarant, once united in their support of Lady Jane, now found themselves on opposing sides, their unity shattered. The Vale, known for its honour and chivalry, stood on the precipice of civil war, its future hanging in the balance. The seeds of discord sown by ambition and opportunism were beginning to sprout, threatening to engulf the region in conflict. The Falcon's Nest, once a symbol of strength and unity, was about to be engulfed in flames, its legacy at risk of being consumed by the fires of ambition and strife.